वेलकम बैक। हम बात कर रहे हैं इंटरनेशनल बेस्टसेलर शांताराम के ऑथर ग्रेगरी रॉबर्ट से, जिनकी जिंदगी की कहानी उतनी ही दिलचस्प है जितनी कि हमारी मुंबई नगरी। आप हमें अभी ये बताइए कि आपने बॉम्बे के बहुत सारे रंग देखे हैं, द गुड बॉम्बे, द बैड, द अगली साइड, द ग्लैमरस साइड। व्हाट हैव बीन द बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस फॉर यू इन बॉम्बे?
You know, I'd love to. There's something I'd love to be able to answer this too in Hindi, but अरे मैं हिंदी बोलना भूल गया हूँ ना। अरे 14 साल हो गए ये हिंदी में बात करके, अभी क्लास हो गया ना। 14 साल प्रैक्टिस नहीं, सिर्फ
आप बहुत अच्छा बोल रहे हैं।
नहीं, अभी सिर्फ बेबी के हिंदी है ना। But about the city of Bombay and about the various aspects and so on. I think I've seen everything that it is possible for an outsider to see in the city. I've mixed with the richest of the people in the city in 5-star hotels and in extremely expensive apartments. I've lived in a jhopatpati. For 18 months I lived there and my hut became a slum clinic and I treated the people around me. 25,000
आपने क्यों किया? आपने एक क्लिनिक क्यों खोला?
It's something that happened to me. I wish I could claim credit and say, see, I did this good thing, but I didn't. I happened to be in the right place at the right time. There was a fire. I had a first aid kit in my luggage, in my backpack, and people around me were saying, doctor, doctor, doctor. I could hear this. And I said to Prabhakar at the time, tell everyone, please, I'm not a doctor. And he said, yeah, sure. And in Hindi he said, he's a very fine doctor. You see what a great doctor I brought here? You see, my friend is a great doctor. And the next morning when I woke up, I went to sleep that night, and I woke up in my little jhopla, and the guys were looking at me like this, and I said, what's going on, guys? And they said, your patients are waiting to see you. I came out of the hut, and there was this endless line of people waiting for me to wake up, and they said, good morning, doctor. Hello, doctor. See, I have this problem. Can you fix it for me? And that's how it happened.
Through the course of your journeys in Bombay, आपने कई ऐसे लोग से भी मिले हैं जो आपके बहुत खास दोस्त बन गए थे. Who was your best friend?
I had many best friends from many walks of life. I knew journalists, I knew poets, painters, people who taught philosophy, but I also knew gundas, men you could trust with your life.
Well, today I think the kind of friends you have are very, very different. I
Yes,
think
they
you
are.
moved into a whole different world with a whole different section of people, and in fact we have some wonderful vox pops from them. Check it out.
When I was editor of Midday, this foreigner turned up. He gave me one kind of article to read. I found it absolutely fascinating. At that time, he was actually living in the slums of Bombay. And we published it in Sunday Midday as a series, which I believe was the beginning of the book. So, very proud to be a little part of it.
It's, I thought, a very honestly written book. And when you meet the man, he's equally honest. And he's an amazing guy. I mean, he's got these clear blue eyes and he's very gentle. He's a perfect gentleman.
I find it very interesting how a man can transform himself from being such a sort of, when he was in Colaba in Bombay, working almost as a Gunda, and now how he is today. It's fantastic.
There is a certain quality about Greg that you can't put your finger on. Sometimes I wonder if he's playing a joke on all of us, truly, because he's really so beautiful, and sometimes I feel too good to be true.
मैं भी उनकी बात से सहमत हूँ. आप मेरे सामने बैठे हैं. Suit, you're, dapperly turned out. One just can't visualize you, Gregory, as a knife-wielding little bandit that went around in little street fights and dealing drugs. And, I mean, looks are deceptive.
Yes, they are. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. Aap mujhe maaf kijiye. I went to Afghanistan and I saw many different kinds of people there. But the most dangerous and violent man I ever met there was a man who had previously been a kindergarten teacher. And all of the people in his village had been killed. He'd in the war against the Russians when they invaded. And he had been so transformed by this that he'd become a merciless killer himself. We all have the tiger within us. It's that sometimes the circumstances in our lives force us to show the tiger and to become the tiger. The real hope that any of us have is that if we've ever once had to show the tiger, that we get a chance to return to a life of love and friendship again. And I've been very, very lucky in having this opportunity happen to me.
तो उस वक्त जब आप गैंग्स में इन्वॉल्व्ड थे, उस वक्त आपकी काफ़ी rivalries भी होंगे.
हाँ.
So what about those rivalries today? I mean, do you not fear them today? You're in the same city?
I don't fear anything or anyone.
But there
because
is a possibility that there is old hostilities. वो आपके पीछे कभी भी आ सकते हैं.
when I came back to the city, I met all sorts of people. Now, from that life, in the 14 years, it's such a life, and it's such a dangerous life, that from the 15 men, the 15 Atmina, who were the heart of this, really, that's the pure dil of this group, 13 from the 15 had died. And of the ones who survived, the sons of those older ones, who had been my contemporaries, had transformed themselves. Some were politicians, some were journalists, some were working in movies. They'd transformed their lives, which is a marvelous thing. I came back into a new Bombay, and there were all sorts of new people who'd come up, but there was no threat against me.
अंतर क्या है उस वक्त के गैंग्स में और आज के गैंग्स में? अंतर क्या है?
The biggest difference, I think, is that the old men who ran the old gangs in the time of Karim Lala and Haji Mastan and so on in the old days, they had a sense of honor. There were things there were lines they wouldn't cross. There were things they wouldn't do because they regarded
Like
as
what?
anything that involved harming a woman or harming a child would be unacceptable, just unacceptable. And if anyone did it in their area, they'd call the guy in and they'd catch him by the ear and farak, they'd give him a couple of shots and say, you can't do this anymore. And those old men, they've retired, they've died, they've gone. And the young guys, a lot of them today, they don't have the same sense of principle. It's like, let's get the money quick, and it doesn't really matter how. You know, farafad, I want it now. Are paisa le.
Well, I think that's really, really interesting, as I think is your foray into Bollywood. But we're going to discuss that after a break. ब्रेक के बाद बात चलेगी हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की और हमारा साथ देंगे एक बहुत स्पेशल गेस्ट जिन्हें आपने स्क्रीन पर तो कई बार देखा है, but now he has also found his way into Gregory's bestseller Shantaram. Stay tuned.